Heading northeast towards the sea, the low hills melt into flatlands. Thanks to its proximity to the spice routes, this region, more than anywhere else in Romania, has witnessed thousands of years of colonial history. Wherever there is a hill or vantage point, you can often find evidence of bygone civilizations, like this fortress at Enesala. Eventually, even solid ground itself dissolves into a labyrinth of lakes, channels and reed beds. This is the Danube Delta, a place as beautiful as it is inhospitable. Yet here, man continues to coexist with nature through harsh winters, mosquitoes, blazing summers, and constantly shifting waterways, mudbanks, and fickle peninsulas that creep right to the edges of the Black Sea. To enter this harsh but magical kingdom, you have to leave the road behind and take to the water. My destination is the coastal town of Sfântu-Gheorghe, perched at the very mouth of the River Danube. An unlikely but breathtaking place to spend a few days getting back to nature. Welcome to Green Village, an eco-resort on the edge of town. Traditional wooden lodges cluster around a restaurant, spa and cinema, affording guests a comfortable base camp from which to explore Europe's largest wetland. Rooms are comfortable and stylish, plus a short walk from your front door and you can take a boat just about anywhere in the Delta. To immerse myself in this amphibious lifestyle, I recruited local and guide Anka Simeon for a trip down the leafy backwaters.
How do you know how to find your way through these channels? Because there are thousands of them.
Yes, I think you should be born here.
Yeah, like you.
To find, like me.
So you've grown up here in Sfântu-Gheorghe?
Yes, I grew up. My parents grew up here. I have a little brother. My father is fisherman, my brother also fisherman.
Every so often, these isolated waterways emerge from the reeds to reveal one of the hundreds of lakes that form a vast network across the Delta.
The water is so clear. You can see all the plants coming up. It's like skimming over a forest.
Yes, it's like a forest because now in this period the water is not so hot. The vegetation starts to grow and it's not so deep.
What do you think can be done about keeping the Delta pristine and preserving it?
We have to discuss with people and to make very powerful messages for them to understand that they are living in a town where goes Danube rivers, but in here it's the end. And we receive everything where they are.
Well, they're chucking away.
Yes.
It's kind of treated like Europe's toilet.
We have very natural beach in our village. And when our storming days, all trashes from the sea came to our beach. It's fragile ecosystem here. Beautiful, you know, very beautiful, but fragile.
But very fragile.
Still fragile.
On the way back from our waterborne safari, we spotted a makeshift fisherman's camp perched on the banks of the Danube. I couldn't resist taking a closer look.
Bună ziua!
Ce faceți?
Luckily, we were welcomed with open arms and the promise of some campfire cuisine.
So we've timed this rather well. I was getting a bit hungry, actually, after travelling around those waterways for a few hours. I love this little community here. Do they come here just for the summer? Because it looks like a makeshift camp. It's not all year
They came
round.
just for spring herring season. They're coming from Mahmudia. It's 45 kilometers up on the river.
So these guys have Turkish ancestry?
Turkish and Ukrainians.
And Ukrainian?
Yes.
Ah,
It's
okay.
a mix of cultural. You know, Dobroja have more than 12 minorities.
And so how long will they be here?
The season starts in March or in April. And now we are almost in the end of the season.
Where do they go after that? Do
Here
they
in
fish for
the-
different fish? Or?
Yes, different fishing and different channels. If it's not frozen, they are fishing.
They're fishing all the time?
Yes.
I see, right. So it's that simple. Gut and prepare your herring and put it on a stick. Fish sticks.
Yes, and they will put it in the fire. They will cook for us, and that's it, yes.
This is what I mean about fresh Danube cuisine. Caught just there in that river. 3 hours later, it's being prepared, stuck on a stick, bunged in a fire, and eaten by us. So if you want to experience this, you're going to have to come to the Danube Delta and do it firsthand for yourself.
Natural. Let's put it with tail down
Yeah?
and with head up.
And that helps the moisture to go through?
Yes.
OK.
Very good. And you have herring roe inside.
Even better. So we have a bit of caviar in the middle. Wow.
Having eaten my fill of herring, I headed back out onto the water in time to join local fisherman Emmanuel and his friend as they were finishing their second shift of the day.
Do you know how many fish from the weight?
No.
No. So it's a surprise
Surprise.
every time.
Every time.
This is a big net. How long are the nets?
Vreo 150 de metri.
Okay. This is a good catch. You expect more?
Dimineața vreo 40 de kg, acum vreo 15, 20.
Okay. Do you think tourism is taking off here in Sfântu Gheorghe? Do you think it's good for the town?
It's good, it's good. E, cum se spune, e cam unicul venit pentru localnici, în afară de pescuit. Pescuitul și apoi turismul.
Hauling in your catch is only part of the day's routine. Even with a boatload of herring, there was still plenty of work left to do.
It's a delicate business because the net can get stuck in the teeth. You have to get it off the fish without damaging it or breaking it because a lot of time is wasted mending the nets when they break. Big sturgeon will put a hole straight through your net. And that's happening, thankfully, because of the ban on sturgeon fishing. They're growing again and the numbers are going up. And some of the guys have told me that they've actually had their nets holed by large sturgeon heading upriver, which is an encouraging thing to hear. So the herring season almost finished, and then you go into the river.
Pe Dunăre și pescuim la crap, la somn, cu alte scole, puțin ochiul mai mare.
Okay.
Și în septembrie, pe lacuri.
Thank you very much. Well, I've got my 3 fish here, and I'm going to take them to the collection point and see what they're worth. I suspect not a huge amount. Bună ziua! Cât costă peștele? Un puțin, da? 0.8 kilograms. 0.8.
10 lei.
10 lei. 10 lei. Well, I think I'll be taking these home in that case and cooking them back at base. Mulțumesc. That was a waste of time.
Although the fishing industry is the lifeblood of this community, tourism is providing a more and more tempting alternative to the early mornings and day-to-day existence of feast and famine. During the season, a procession of floating hotels converge from all over Europe, funnel down the Danube until they wind up here, unloading a steady stream of visitors, pockets laden, looking to commemorate the culmination of their 2-week cruise.
So here's the thought. Big cruise ships come past Sfântu Gheorghe all the time with loads of tourists, with loads of money. And yet there's only one supermarket, a pharmacy, a couple of restaurants, although I'm not 100% sure about that, and very little else. This town is missing a trick. You know that a community could benefit from some tourist development when one of the biggest shows in town is frogs mating.
Round the corner at Green Village, it was time for lunch. So I collared head chef Sorin to show me two versions of Dobroja's famous fish chorba, the traditional recipe and his own off-piste variation.
What I love about this sort of cooking is that it's so simple. You've got your tripod, you've got your cauldron, you've got your water, and then you just need your ingredients.
This is it. A good food made with local products, fish from the Danube, the vegetables from our garden, and that's it.
And that's it. I guess it's easier to grow your own than it is to bring it all the way here.
Yes, it's expensive to bring vegetables here.